range of a maximum damage Raikou attack out of a maximum damage Raiden attack, so that's where the Zapdos is going to be very key.
Now taking a look at the accomplishments for both of these players, Juho did very well at Pokémon Regionals, top 4 this past year, top 16 in 2020. EUIC top 32 in Bristol Regionals, top 16. And meanwhile, Noah Sawyer top 16 in Pittsburgh Regionals, finalist at Fort Wayne Regionals, top 8 in Dallas Regionals 2016, and a top 16 at NAIC in 2019.
Now we're gonna mention though that NAIC top 16 was a bubble out of top 8 after IDing the last round, so coming so close yet so far, and now finally has a chance to get that big finish.
Yeah, and Juho, meanwhile, his older brother just won Lille a few weeks ago, hoping to add another trophy to the trophy case at home.
Yeah, incredible to have so many. I feel like we've seen this brothers dynamic a couple of times, right? We have the Schultz brothers, very good players, the Cameraman brothers, very good players as well, and I'm sure there's plenty out there. Gabriel Fernandez, yeah, I know his brother Vinicius Fernandez, who's here, first season in Masters, doing pretty well as well.
These players are all waiting on this opportunity to try to show you that they are championship worthy. They have been playing through 15 rounds of Swiss and then our top 8 bracket. All culminates to this moment, and here are the prize cards for this game 1. Let's go ahead and take a look.
75 minutes or less separate us, and prize cards, 2 switching outs, nothing too impressive. 3 energy and an electric generator though. Those 3 energies will significantly reduce the chances of Juho hitting the electric generators, at least in the beginning of the game. So we'll have to see how those work, yeah, because Juho has fancied himself as getting really lucky with the electric generators throughout the whole tournament, not whiffing very much at all. So we'll have to see these 3 energies in the prize cards and how they affect the development of this game 1.
Honestly, though, if you're choosing to play a deck like Miraidon EX, you have to be a little lucky to hit those electric generators and cheat those energies in play. Your turn 1, turn 2 are so important with this deck. But honestly, with Iron Valiant EX, it's very much the same way.
Yeah, definitely. Both decks need a good strategy, but also a little bit of luck as we get this match started with a strong Battle VIP pass for Noah. Entei versus Raiden. We're in for a good one, Jeremy. We're in for a good one.
Yeah, Battle VIP pass here with the Entei V in the active spot. You can use fleet-footed, draw an extra card, and here we're going to see Noah do a little prize checking, make sure what resources he has available to him. And honestly, I'm going to be interested to see who actually chose to go first and second, but both of these decks very capable of attacking on the first turn, going second.
Indeed, both these decks have that possibility, and this is something that we've noticed since Paradox Rift. The format does feel more aggressive this time around, and going second has never had more merit than this weekend. So, as you mentioned, for Game 2, that'll be a very interesting decision, and Radiant Charizard hitting the field very early on. Another very powerful attacker that Noah can utilize in order to compensate in case Juho limits their bench, trying to reduce the damage from the Burning Rondo.
Another Battle VIP pass found off that 1 card from Fleet-Footed. It'll be interesting to see if you actually use all of the Pokemon found off of it, because Nest Ball in hand as well. But here is the switch card to the Iron Valiant, switch to that Radiant Charizard, because it is a 1 prize Pokemon that your opponent could take a knockout on and kind of give you a little bit of a reprieve. Here's a Nest Ball for that Squawkabilly EX, and this has been such a good inclusion in this deck.
Indeed, Squawk and Seize has definitely been getting more and more play. Now we're seeing decks play 2 copies of the card sometimes, as before we only had 1. So incredible to see this cute parrot make it all the way to the finals in both decks as well.
Squawk and Seize was the ability used. Discard the hand, draw 6. Another Battle VIP pass found. Might as well use it. You didn't use the second one.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't use a Battle VIP pass on turn 1. As we can see, Noah very conservative with their bench management, rather, yeah, to not fully maximize the damage that a Raikou can potentially do against you. Only 1 Tachyon bits available so far. However, As we've talked about, the HPs, everything in Juho's deck is in range, and there aren't a lot of small Pokemon to pick on.
And that is a pass of the turn. Pretty stellar turn one from Noah there, focusing on those two Entei V, getting that fire energy on that benched one. Meanwhile, Juho is going to start things off. Tandem Unit, one of the best abilities that really makes this deck function.
The Tandem Unit, essentially a Battle VIP pass each and every turn that you need it. Deck search, very important. Figuring out the price cards, very important. And I'm pretty sure Juho's going to be checking on how many energies you have priced and trying to thin the deck as much as possible in order to make sure that those electric generators' chances of hitting energy are as maximized as possible.
And there we see that Raikou V, one of the best attackers for this deck, especially early game. And Zeraora, a single prize Pokemon in this deck that has free retreat. So you often just find yourself putting it in the active.
Yeah, having that pivot, very, very important. And then Zeraora's Battle Claw attack will also be pretty key here, I think. In case Juho ever attacks into an Entei but is not able to get that knockout, leaves the Entei with 10 or even 30 remaining HP, you can use that Zeraora to finish off that Entei, and you don't expose a two-prize Pokemon in the active. Both players are very aware of how this match will be decided by a 2-2-2 prize trade-off of sorts. That's why Noah prioritizing not giving up a single prize card on turn one. However, we see the immediate escape rope, Jeremy.
Escape rope brings up the Entei V for Noah and Raikou V for Juho. That means Fleet-Footed will be able to be used. Here we see another Miraidon EX with its Tandem Unit fetching out that Zapdos, which is going to be one of the biggest cards in this match.
That Zapdos is going to be the most influential Pokemon here. Juho can get to that 230 damage threshold to knock out the Entei V in one hit, regardless of how many Pokemon are on the bench or not, as long as he can get that Miraidon powered up. So that Zapdos, that's probably the Pokemon that if you're Noah, you want to try to target down with Tachyon Bits eventually, or even boss KO, because then the damage is limited for Juho.
Switch cart now to that Zeraora, having that free retreat. Still hasn't retreated for the turn for Sealstone to that Raikou V, giving it that Star Alchemy ability. But we're going to see a Professor's Research here, discarding double Mareep. Don't need those against a bunch of Tachyon Bits.
Now that, of course, you want to prevent the KOs, right? But energy acceleration is also very key. If your Pokemon are continually going down each and every time, that's going to make it hard for Juho to have back-to-back attackers, especially with the 3 energies that were priced at this point in time. So I'm not sure. Sometimes benching the Mareeps can be a liability, but if you bench both of them, one is guaranteed to be not knocked out during your opponent's next turn, and then you can evolve into Fluffy and get a little bit of an energy advantage that way. So this could be very good in order to prevent that price setup or that extra price for Noah, but it could also be very bad as the game goes on.
Juho now digging even deeper. Ultra Ball, discarding an Ultra Ball and a Lightning Energy, finding his own Squawkabilly EX. And we're going to probably see a Squawk and Seize from Juho's side of things here. Discarding a hand of Paths of the Peak, Boss's Orders, and Iono. Those are very bad discards here.
The 3 very important cards in this matchup. Juho even talked about how important the Path to the Peak is to stop his opponent's main strategy, and drawing a lot of energies in the prizes. Can we hit?
Oh, just the one here that we'll be able to attach to the Miraidon, but having already attached for the turn, we might need a Forest Seal Stone for another electric generator.
Yep, I'm very certain that's what we're going to see, but it always feels a little bad when you draw those energies into your hand instead of them being at the top of your deck. So this electric generator, it's going to be a big one. But if that Miraidon is then return KO'd afterwards, yeah, with no access to Fluffy or Mareep, how do you get more Pokemon powered up?
After this electric generator, just one more left in the deck, one in the prize cards. So it's going to be a little bit risky here, but Juho senses that he needs to go fast, has dug through basically half of the deck at this point.
I would have loved to see Juho play that Ultra Ball, and there we see, wow, double hit.
And that is going to help set up a KO for the next turn as well, attaching it to that Raikou V. And with this setup now, this Miraidon EX has enough power to take the knockout on that Entei V in the active.
Yes, 230 damage, perfect numbers. However, this will reduce Noah's bench a little bit more, right? So if Noah is able to get a response with enough Tachyon Bits damage to complete the damage for Entei, it could get a little tricky here. So great start for Juho. We'll see how Noah responds.
Fleet-footed to start things off. Might as well get that extra free card. And Coloris's Experiment, supporter that just helps dig further without having to sacrifice your hand. Looking at 5 cards here. The Lost Zone's not really going to matter, so whatever you get rid of will be gone.
Now, Noah is holding so many switching effects, but only has access to 2 Iron Valiant. So the big key card missing right now is the Magma Basin. That's what Noah needed to find in order to be able to power up, but we see that it's just not quite there.
Does have the 4 Seal Stones, so could search for it if he chooses to.
Definitely needs to do that.
The thing with Magma Basin, though, is you're also just damaging your own Entei V to get that energy on there, helping out Juho's Raikou V and trying to take that knockout.
Yeah, between benching that extra Iron Valiant and the self-damage from Magma Basin, which could be healed with a switch card, right? However, that was the first switching card used, so you could spend an extra switching effect just to heal that Entei, but now that's not possible as there are only switches in the hand, I think.
Well, there is that Star Alchemy, finding that Magma Basin, a supporter or a stadium that's been out for a while. And we knew the power of it. It's very good, just attaching an extra energy per turn to your benched fire Pokemon, and you put 2 damage counters on it, but hasn't really seen the success that it is right now.
Indeed, and we've had Entei from the same set available for a long time as well. Yeah, we did see Magma Basin utilized very successfully at the World Championships in 2022 with that Radiant Charizard deck that ended up winning a few regionals last season, but we see the knockout here. Magma Basin, pretty good card now that Tachyon Bits is out.
Mew EX, the draw for Juho here, has an Ultra Ball and a ton of energies. I don't know if I see any supporter, though.
No support, unfortunately, in Juho's hand. No access to something like Luminion, so we're going to see a thinned Pokemon here, which is great, right, to improve your chances at top decking. We also have access to Fleet-footed to draw an extra card, maybe find a supporter there. Looking decent for Juho this turn, and will be able to respond to that Entei.
Well, here is that Ultra Ball for Iron Hands EX, tandem unit for the Raikou V, thinning out the deck as much as possible before this potential Fleet-footed.
Very, very important to do that. Every card you get out of the deck matters so much, and Noah was able to limit their bench last turn, but just not quite enough. Lightning Rondo will be doing 210 damage, plus the bonus from Zapdos' ability. It's 210, which is the exact amount he needs. Oh, there's a research.
Okay, yeah, this hand is great. Discarding the Iron Hands EX, Mew EX, Double Turbo, and a Lightning. Finding 7 new cards. Boss's Orders, Super Rod, Path to the Peak. This might be the hand to try and seal up this game 1.
Path, definitely the card that Juho needed to get the best turn possible here. Now, Juho will be able to take a knockout on this Entei, will be very correctly using Fleet-footed before playing that path to get the most amount of cards this turn. And how does Noah respond? Can Noah set up another Entei to take down this Raikou?
Draws another Boss's Orders off that Fleet-footed. And we're going to see that Path to the Peak hit play and a knockout looming for this Raikou V. And just like that, Juho down to 2 prize cards left in game 1 of Masters Finals here.
Doing just enough damage with each KO. Noah not able to prevent those KOs. Top decks the switch cards, which would have saved that Entei. And now probably has to research and hope at this point. No point in switching out your Iron Valiants, as you cannot use their abilities with that Path to the Peak in play.
Yeah, 4 switch outs getting discarded. No Magma Basin in sight of these 7 cards. And that means this Radiant Charizard is not going to be able to attack this turn. Its Excited Heart ability shut off due to that Path to the Peak.
Noah also needs to promote that Charizard, so will not be able to use it to attack. Oh, I guess Iron Violent definitely survives the damage here. Does have a Boss's Order, though.
And just like that, Juho Kallama opening up with a 1-0 victory.
very well played by Juho, very perfectly executed strategy, not giving Noah any free prizes off the Mareeps, choosing not to bench them at all, filling up the bench with a lot of high HP Pokemon, making Tachyon bids not be super relevant, which is the best asset of Iron Valiant here.
Yeah, you really tried to, like Noah was saying in the video, take out those support Pokemon that your opponent has, but when all your support Pokemon have 220 HP, it's going to be a little bit harder. And here is that first electric generator, and then the second one found off that Star Alchemy, finding 2 lightning energy, and that was huge, allowing that Raikou to attack the next turn.
Indeed, Juho hit just enough energy with each electric generator, had just enough resources, and was able to do just enough damage, right? Juho felt like he was playing right on the edge, and every calculated decision ended up paying off after that path to the peak stopped Noah from finding a response.
Yeah, this professor's research, discarding a ton of switch outs, not finding anything in that hand, and just like that, boss's orders taking the KO on that Squawkabilly EX, and we are going to a game 2 here.
Squawkabilly EX being such a good card, but also such a big liability, right? Once you play it down, it can be targeted by your opponent. It does have that very low HP, and with a lightning weakness, we've even seen it be taken down by the Ampu very much attack, which is something that could happen in this series, but big prize card, the Zapdos being prized, is really bad for you, along with double boss's orders for Noah.
That is the only 2 boss's orders Noah plays, so going to have to rely on just attacking the active for this entire game. And it looks like Juho is going first here. Raikou versus Entei yet again, fleet-footed. Allows Juho a path to the peak.
Noah choosing to go second, then giving himself the opportunity to be the first aggressor, which is so important in this matchup. Both decks have the possibility to attack on turn 1, so whoever gets the first 2 prize cards has a very big advantage. But that path to the peak, Jeremy, such a powerful card.
Here is an Ultra Ball discarding Mareep and a Flaffy. We'll be able to find Miraidon EX. Miraidon EX tandem unit can go ahead and grab 2 more Lightning Pokemon if Juho chooses. And the hand looks all right for Juho here.
Yeah, pretty decent start. Once again, going with the no benching of Mareep at all. So it's going to be all about this electric generators, yeah? Everything will hang on the balance on whether you hit 1 or 2 energies or 0. So far, so good for Juho.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Taking a look here, seeing what is prized. It's going to notice that Zapdos right away. Eyeing down that Zeraora for its free retreat. It was very helpful in getting into the active with Escape Rope, having your electric generators charge up the Pokemon you actually need.
Yeah, both Flaffy's Dynamo ability only works in the bench. Zeraora giving that pivot for the electric generators as well, so big. But that Zapdos, yeah, that Zapdos can be accessed, but without the Zapdos, knocking out this first Entei is going to be a tall order for Juho. He could dedicate to powering up a Raichu to accomplish that, but the discard of the energies could be very difficult to come back from with no Flaffy in play at all.
Here is that tandem unit, finds a Miraidon EX and that Zeraora. Still debating about the second tandem unit. Nope, we're going to go ahead and grab a Raichu V. Now, with its attack fast charge, you can use it if you go first. Search your deck for a lightning energy, attach it to this Pokemon. Pretty good way to accelerate energy, especially on your first turn when normally you're not able to attack.
Unfortunately, Juho's hand not good enough to where he will have to rely on Squawkabilly to get a more stable setup, find those electric generators, and thus that path to the peak, which is so important, will not be able to hit play. Squawk sees the priority here for a fresh new hand.
It is always very awkward, especially when playing Miraidon EX, that you have Path to the Peak in your opening hand, but you need to Squawk and Seize. Those 2 cards do not go together, especially that turn 1.
Now, Mew EX also hitting the field, which probably will not be powered up. However, that restart ability, really good.
Unless you need to discard all of them to Squawk and Seize here. Drawing a boss's orders and a Raikou V. Have the lightning energy, so you're going to attach that to your own Raikou on the bench. And here we're going to see that Squawk and Seize.
Yeah, those are 2 very important resources. Only 2 Raikou V in the deck, and it is the most efficient or energy efficient attacker that Juho has access to, but now he only can rely on one. So this electric generator, Jeremy, it's gonna be big next turn.
Yeah, saving it just so you can thin out a little bit more. And now it's up to Noah to try to figure out what to do here and how to cobble together a knockout. Gonna start with a Magma Basin and a Battle VIP pass, not too bad.
Very strong start, prioritizing Squawk and Seize or checking the prices, but that Squawk and Seize was very useful for Noah to set up, but also what ended up costing him the game. But when your hand merits using Squawk and Seize, you just have to go for it, yeah, because you stand more to gain by using it than not having that liability, but then not getting further into the match because you don't have a good enough hand.
You want to take a look at the deck to see what is prized. If I remember, it's nothing too bad.
Nothing too impactful that would force a difficult decision or something out of the ordinary, right?
Except for the two bosses.
The two bosses orders, which at this point, you also have escape rope. Yeah, an escape rope right now, it won't let you target the Pokemon that you want, but it's good enough to initiate that 2x2x2 price trade-off. So, and that's exactly what we're gonna see. So the target is in the active. It's also the easiest Pokemon to take down, the one that definitely does not require any Tachyon Bits usage. As we see the research, the energy in the discard pile, a lot of switching cards. So I think we're gonna have Noah start the price trade of this turn.
It has another Battle VIP pass found off that Professor's research. Still has access to Fleet-Footed and that Squawk and Seize. So with this Battle VIP pass, finds 2 Iron Valiant EX. A few switch cards in hand to go along with another Nest Ball. We might see that Radiant Charizard hit the bench, and there we go.
Getting that ready to attack, that really great, efficient attacker with that Combustion Blast that only gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on. Really great complement to Entei, and you really don't mind pairing it up with Magma Basin towards the end of the game because it has such a low amount of HP that it's gonna get KO'd pretty quickly.
So we see the switch before the second Fleet-Footed here, bringing up that Iron Valiant EX with the future booster energy capsule has for your treat.
Difficult decision here for Noah. Does have the double turbo to guarantee that the Entei will attack, but that will reduce its damage output by 20, which not relevant against the Squawk ability right now, but could be relevant with the higher HP Pokemon that Raikou and Miraidon has. However, with the bench being completely full for both players, I would not be too worried. And wow, off the top, the Fire Energy.
What a good Fleet-Footed there, and now no damage reduction for Noah. Takes the knockout, and this is what he wanted to see game one, and Juho was able to accomplish just that.
You know you have a good turn when you bench the Squawk ability with your first Battle VIP pass, and then you just choose not to use it.
Juho's going to start things off with that tandem unit, trying to see what Pokemon are left. Remember, did discard the second Raikou V and won't have access to it. There is a Super Rod in the deck, but finding another Miraidon EX here.
Now, I really like what Juho did last turn. He got an Electric Generator, but chose not to play it. Why? Because now he top-decked a card. He's now able to thin an extra card with Tandem Unit, and now he's able to thin an extra card with Ultra Ball. So that's 3 cards that are not energy cards now out of the deck, fully maximizing the chances of hitting 2 energies of the Electric Generators. And when you're not using any Dynamotors from Fluffy, it's so important to hit 2 energies right here, especially when your other Raikou is also gone.
You got to give yourself the best odds for the cards that you're playing. And thinning is winning. That's probably why I'm up here. I'm a little bit thicker.
Now, we do have an interesting dynamic here. No one knows that Juho plays the Zapdos. Doesn't know that it's priced, right? So that probably factored into his decision being like, okay, you know what? Both benches are full. You're going to get the knockout. I don't need to bother healing that 20 damage. If Noah had any indication that the Zapdos had been priced, I feel like we might have seen a Squawk and Seize perhaps to try and dig for a switch card to take that 20 damage off and be able to survive the incoming Lightning Rondo.
Just one electric energy found on, one lightning energy found off the electric generator. And here we see Iono after attaching to the second Miraidon EX.
You're Really hoping to hit a path, and there it is, the
Wow.
path to the peak. Very strong card, along with the Force Seal Stone to make sure that you have access to anything you need next turn. What a fantastic Iono for Juho.
Looking at the hand for Noah, though, it's not too bad himself. Switch card, double turbo energy, and Professor's Research to go along with the Colorless Experiment. So it has some options for the following turn, but this path to the peak is going to be enemy number 1. Noah's going to have to try to find another Magma Basin. There is 4 in the deck, though.
There are 4 in the deck, and the importance of Magma Basin is not quite for Tachyon Bits. Tachyon Bits not coming into play as much as Noah would like, but it's more about being able to get a response here with the Entei. That's the crucial thing Noah needs to do here. Otherwise, the price trade-off will now favor Juho after this knockout.
For Sealstone is going to go ahead and grab that Bravery Charm for Juho here. Such a powerful tool, being able to add 50 HP to the basic Pokemon that it's attached to. And once you know, most of every Pokemon in Juho's deck is basic.
Indeed, and this Bravery Charm will now force Noah to be able to utilize Tachyon Bits to actually get a knockout on the Raikou. So really well planned, really well executed. Juho getting the best possible turn here in order to respond to the Entei.
And there we go. Juho tying it up. 4 prizes to 4 prizes. Entei getting knocked out. Going to be some big draws from Noah here. Most likely going to start off with this Professor's Research.
I would imagine so. Does have, interesting attachment, I guess, with the Magma Basin now. Charizard with 1 Tachyon Bits can take a knockout on Juho, so we need to find the Magma Basin, and there it is.
Big draw for Noah there. Able to bump that path to the peak. Magma Basin attaches a fire to that Radiant Charizard, and with its Excited Heart ability, will be able to attack. Does 230 damage. There's that Tachyon Bits, and guess what? Raikou V has 230 HP left.
What a coincidence, Jeremy. What a funny coincidence. And now Juho in a lot of trouble, because if he wants to take 2 prizes against Noah, that means the Charizard will be able to just get another hit next turn. And if Juho takes down the Charizard, he'll still need to KO 2 more Pokemon in order to win this match.
And Noah also grabbed a boss's orders from the prize card. So if there's no Iono from Juho's side of the board, a simple boss's orders KO is looming in the future.
That low HP Mew could be the target. Bravery Charm top decked. No, there is an Iono in the hand though, so that could definitely, I could see Juho just taking the knockout and hoping Noah doesn't find a response, but with the free retreat from the booster capsule on that Iron Valiant, I fully expect Noah to be able to stabilize, or he might need a fleet-footed to get out of this one.
Tandem Unit's going to take a quick look at the deck, see what options are available to Juho. I guess you can go ahead and get that Mareep now if you want. Not really too threatened, especially with Noah at 2 prize cards already.
Yeah, if Noah takes 1 prize card, not going to be a big deal. Still needs to take down another Pokemon, which there is a universe where that Zeraora could be the other Pokemon, right? So definitely risky. Juho reconsiders and opts not to.
Now, there is a Lost Vacuum in the hand for Juho. Can use that to get rid of the Magma Basin, which would limit the chances of an Entei V attack next turn. We see the Lightning Energy on Miraidon. Bravery Charm to go along with it. Still no attacker set up this turn for Juho here, and it's going to be a little bit scary.
Indeed, you need to be able to hit an Electric Generator off the Iono that's about to be played, and then you also need to hit an Energy. If you do, you're sitting really nice there. However, there's no guarantees. There's never any guarantees with Electric Generators.
This Iono is going to be pretty big, though. Juho's going to draw 4 cards, but Noah's only going to draw 2 thanks to their prize cards here. A lot of good resources down at the bottom of the deck. Escape Rope, Entei found for Noah. That's not really going to be much of any help.
No Electric Generator, though, won't be able to attack this turn.
No.
And Noah, that Charizard with so many switch effects, should be able to attack again. Noah 1 boss away, hasn't V-Start either.
And we know the Escape Rope is in hand. Escape Rope will reset this Combustion Blast from Radiant Charizard, but thankfully that Bravery Charm will help that Miraidon EX stick around just a little bit longer.
20 damage away, 2 damage counters away from victory. Stand between Noah and game 3.
And I like this, being able to just get that damage on there now. Most of these players are going to be knowing their opponent's list coming into this finals, as they spend plenty of time testing Saturday night. And wouldn't you know it, there's no way to get rid of the heavily damaged Miraidon.
There is no way to get rid of that. There is also no more path to a peak. One got discarded on turn 1. The other got discarded earlier in a turn. So with only with only 2 paths to a peak available, there's no way to prevent Noah from promoting the Iron Valiant, retreating, and able to take the knockout on the active.
So here we're going to see Professor's research. Juho's just trying to see what, if anything, he can do here.
Found an electric generator 1 turn too late. A lot of energies. A Mareep, a Fluffy can potentially attack with something else, but how can Juho prevent Iron Valiant from just sniping the Miraidon next turn?
I don't believe there's a way, and because of that, we're going to see a pretty exciting game 3, hopefully, here. Nestball is going to find that Mareep. And Juho has the knockout, but like you were saying, Tachyon Bits is going to be cleaning up.
I really want to see what Juho is thinking about. There's a knockout on the Radiant Charizard, promotes the Iron Valiant, will retreat, 2 damage counters, and we're going to a game 3.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Pablo. Game 3 here for both of these future Pokemon from Paradox Rift, both of these legendary beasts that have been very good throughout their entire time. Essentially, Raikou V is the better of all 3, at least in results-wise.
Results-wise, definitely has also been the most played one out of all of them, but Entei trying to make a name for itself as we see this game 2. Juho off to a pretty fantastic start, but lack of Mareeps really hurting.
And then there was the escape rope bringing up a Squawkabilly EX, and then getting enough energy in play, thanks to that Magma Basin, to take the knockout. That's 2 prizes. Meanwhile, Juho getting a pretty good turn 2 here. Electric Generator finds 1 energy, able to take the knockout with the Raikou, with that Bravery Charm, but with the amount of switches and that Magma Basin off of the Professor's research, Noah able to clean up even with that extra HP, and Radiant Charizard just putting in a ton of work at the end of this game.
Tachyon Bits making that little bit of extra difference, not being utilized to pick off on those Mareeps, but very useful to make sure that the damage is finalized for Radiant Charizard, despite having a double turbo energy. So 1 turn later, but Iron Valiant, yeah, the deck that no one saw coming, the future opponent that people had the least expectations for, yeah. Not the one that no one saw coming. It was definitely a pretty well-defined archetype heading into this event, but everyone was talking about Roaring Moon, Iron Hands, Screamtail. Oh, wow, double Entei in the prize cards now.
Yeah, I think at the top of the show this weekend, we were talking about Iron Valiant and how we didn't really know the perfect partner for it. It's a very good card, very unique card in its ability. And just the fact that the set is so brand new, we really weren't too sure what was going to take hold. Entei V with that Magma Basin seems to be a pretty good combination. Meanwhile here, future booster energy castle on that Iron Valiant, switch to it, get that Tachyon Bits and Squawk and Seize, but you have to discard 2 energy, a Jet energy, a Fire energy, and 2 Forest Seal Stones.
Indeed, no V-Star ability for Noah this game 3. That's not a great feeling, right? It's the finals, and you know you will never be able to search for the card that you need. However, we do see the double Entei to compensate for the 2 in the prize cards. We'll have to see how Noah can navigate this turn if he prioritizes benching the Radiant Charizard once again, as Juho looking to try to get that turn 1 attack off.
And an important thing to note, there is a Magma Basin in the prize card, so only 3 available for Noah, but compared to the 2 Path to the Peak from Juho, it's really going to be all down to timing for those stadiums.
Exactly, the timing. If you can pair that Path to the Peak with a strong Iono to lower your opponent's hand, that's going to be huge. And Noah choosing to bench that Radiant Charizard immediately, just as he has done in the previous games, prioritizing attackers and the single prize Pokemon, over multiple Iron Valiant as Tachyon Bits. You don't need more than 1 or 2 to round out the numbers.
And there is a retreat to that Radiant Charizard. Again, just saying, if you're able to get that turn 1 knockout, I want you to do it on this single prize Pokemon. Meanwhile, was that a Miraidon EX top deck from Juho?
I think it might have been, yeah. So pretty good start. Always a great feeling. And now, did we see any energies in the prize cards for Juho? I don't believe so. So full odds electric generators this turn. Needs an escape rope though. Escape rope is a big card to make sure that you can take a potential to prize cards. Zapdos also available, unlike the previous game. So I think we're in for a treat here, Jeremy.
Well, we're going to take a look with this tandem unit here. Fetching it down. Another Miraidon EX and Raikou V. And there we see just the power of tandem unit. You're able to use it no matter how many Miraidon EX you have in play. So a pretty easy bench fill for Juho if he chooses to, but we just see that Zapdos for right now.
I really wish Juho would take the opportunity to be able to bench 1 Mareep. Yeah, your opponent's bench is already limited to the point where they cannot use 3 Tachyon Bits next turn. So this is the perfect opportunity to bench a Mareep. You know it's not going down unless you take a knockout, which is never guaranteed. And then all of a sudden you can evolve into Fluffy and get those extra energies into play to make sure that your attackers are maximized.
Big electric generator here. Oh no. All right, we got
one energy, last card electric generator. Debating whether to attach to Miraidon or the Raikou, both really good Pokemon, but Noah only benched 4 Pokemon total, so if the energy goes to Raikou, might be able to take down the Radiant Charizard, but will not be able to take down an Entei, which is the Pokemon you'd expect Noah to promote if an escape rope is found.
And there is the energy on the Raikou V here, and I guess just prioritizing taking the knockout could be on Juho's mind here. And that was a rough generator, seeing 2 other generators and a boss's orders.
2 other generators with only 3 left when there's like 10 energy left in your deck. That's what you want to see. However, knocking out the Radiant Charizard, definitely an important thing in this matchup, right? We saw how impactful it was the previous turn, so the previous game rather. So even if you're not able to take 2 prizes here, eliminating the option of the Radiant Charizard is also really big.
Yeah, there is no Pokemon recovery for Noah here. So once that Radiant Charizard is knocked out, it is gone for good. Raikou V to the active fleet-footed, finds the boss's orders. And just like that, Juho's like, hey, no, I'm going to be able to take 2 prizes this turn. Watch out.
Incredible start for Juho. I missed that boss's orders in their hand, and now it's up to Noah to respond. And another awkward discard, right? 2 escape ropes, which could be very important.
Ooh.
A boss's orders.
This is not a good hand for Noah here. A ton of supporters, a ton of energy, and a battle VIP pass. Gonna have to rely on fleet-footed, but I don't know if there's anything you draw here that can really help you out.
Now, imagine if there was a Mareep right here. Imagine if you could have access to a Fluffy. You wouldn't rely so much on electric generators, and you'd be very close to knocking out that Entei, which I assume is going to be the Pokemon left in the active, which is out of range of Lightning Rondo, but not out of range of Miraidon's attack.
This has been such an awkward turn 2 from Noah, though. Is eyeing it down, playing that escape rope. Could bring up that Iron Valiant EX yet again. Get some Tachyon Bits down, or even just bring up that Radiant Charizard and have Juho try to take just 1 prize.
You have to imagine it's going to be the Radiant Charizard to try to prevent the prize trade-off after the Tachyon Bits. Because Entei can survive the Raikou. There's no other energy in play, but there's always the threat of electric generator.
Well, we're going to retreat to that Entei that is energy-less. Fleet-footed will draw another card. Seems to be that Iron Valiant EX.
No more switching cards in the hand, so it's going to be Entei in the active. And Juho has the opportunity to get 2 prizes ahead if he hits electric generators, as he top decks for a Seal Stone to go fetch 1 of those.
Must be nice. You are just a couple of energies away from almost punching your ticket with that trophy to Honolulu.
Incredible hand here for Juho. Gonna try to figure out exactly what's the best way to hit 2 energy of electric generators, and he decides to go research, see what he gets, and then decide whatever he's missing, he'll go fetch with a 4 Seal Stone. Big turn here.
And we do see an electric generator here along with a bravery charm. So this is going to be shaping up to be a pretty stellar turn in trying to seal this matchup.
Not only that, but an Ultra Ball and Tandem unit available to thin a further 2 cards, further increasing the chances of the electric generator hitting 2. We need to see 2 of this first one, or else we're going to have to Force Seal Stone for another one. It's great to have the option, but Juho hits 2 energies here. He's going to be in a fantastic position, Jeremy.
Taking a look at the hand before finishing shuffling of the deck. Trying to thin out as much as possible and maybe not eyeing down that Ultra Ball just to get 1 card deeper. There is a lot of energies still in the deck for Juho, and he's going to start things off with that electric generator. This is going to be the biggest 5 cards of Juho's Pokemon career here. 1 energy already.
Found and 1 energy only. Another electric generator off an electric generator. And I think we're going to see a Force Seal Stone for another one, though.
Spin the wheel again. You got to do it. Star Alchemy able to search your deck for any 1 card. It's going to be another electric generator. And we just got to hope and pray.
I think I just counted 6 energies in Juho's deck, so not the greatest odds. Probably has around 15 to 20 cards left, but now he only needs 1 in order to get this knockout, and I think 1 is reasonable. 2 would be fantastic. 1 seems very likely to be able to do 230 damage and get 4 prizes ahead in Game 3 of the final.
5 cards yet again. Never tell me the odds, Pablo, because there is that 3rd energy on the Miraidon EX, and with that, Juho will be able to take a knockout on the active Entei.
4 prizes ahead, guaranteed for Juho now. 1 KO away to win this match. And Noah, not a fantastic response available here, and if he chooses to knock out the Miraidon with a full bench, that means the Raikou will be a very big threat for Entei. So how can Noah respond here?
It's definitely going to be rough for sure. Looks like they are deliberating with the judges for a little bit here. But with the way the board is set up, it's definitely in Juho's favor.
All right, so we're going to check to see exactly what has happened here in the final match, and we'll be sure to let you know. Jeremy, those electric generators, I don't know how you do it. Like, I would not be able to handle the pressure of electric generator. I'd rather handle the pressure of finding a Colress, you know, or finding the boss, but finding the generator and then hoping to hit it, I don't know how you do it.
A lot of luck, a little bit of skill, and 100% power of will.
Power of will, that's the only way to power through those electric generators for sure, because also as the game advances it becomes harder and harder to hit, right? If you're very successful with the early generators, then that means it's going to be harder, as we see a reveal of the discard pile.
I think what they're debating is maybe a double retreat from Noah's previous turn.
That might be accurate, because the Iron Valiant was promoted first, another Iron Valiant was promoted afterwards, and then after an escape rope, then maybe a retreat into the Entei. So, I mean, the only thing that would change would be the fact that there would be an Iron Valiant in the active, right?
Well, the fleet-footed.
Oh, the fleet-footed card, which we know what it is, right? So we can put that back.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
But that would, if it was, it could be a double prize penalty, and just like that, we could see a champion.
We could, we really could. I feel like it's such an easy thing to rewind, though. Just put the card back. I doubt it was played, right? Noah's hand is very underwhelming. Rewind that, let the game continue. Double prize penalties are very harsh sometimes.
With this board position, Juho's definitely in a commanding lead. Depending on this ruling, could be the end of the game.
Either way, nothing is stopping Juho from being 4 prizes ahead. And Noah having a very underwhelming state of the board, and with that Bravery Charm that Juho is holding, that Miraidon might just even be able to withstand the attack. And then you're just one escape rope or potentially Boss's Orders away from closing out and taking home that beautiful golden Pikachu trophy.
All right, it does look like it was confirmed there was a double retreat, so now they're just trying to get the board state set up correctly.
Will be an Iron Valiant in the active. Now the fleet-footed card, seems like we're just gonna continue as is. We're gonna be able to take this knockout. Doesn't change what Juho was planning, doesn't change his preferred attacker. Will be able to take this knockout and put himself one turn away from winning this match.
Now 2 to 6 prizes. Noah has a lot of work to do to try to overcome this. And honestly, with that Iron Valiant getting knocked out, going to be a little bit harder to take the knockout on this Miraidon EX thanks to that Bravery Charm. Radiant Charizard is going to have to be the attacker this turn.
Yeah, not only the Bravery Charm, but also not a lot of Tachyon bits available. Did find quite a few switching cards. Can attack with Radiant Charizard, but that Medicham V, and now that that has been benched, Juho one boss away from knocking that out next turn.
Retreat to that NTV. We're going to see a switch to the other NTV. Both cards drawn with fleet-footed. Finds a Magma Basin for potentially next turn. And then another switch cart to that Iron Valiant. And there we go. 20 damage thanks to that Tachyon bits. Switch cart yet again to that Radiant Charizard. And just like that, Noah does have the knockout on this Miraidon EX.
Combustion Blast doing just enough damage to knock out this Miraidon. Is Juho holding the game-winning card, Jeremy?
Boss's Orders.
We'll have to see. I really want to see Juho's hand promotes the Serra Aura. Could be closing out this game. Has Escape Rope.
No Boss's Orders, but Escape Rope should be able to do it. No, not having enough bench Pokemon here.
So we do have Ultra Ball, no Luminion for boss. I think we might have to see an Iono. You could easily play the Escape Rope and damage something else perhaps whilst you research probably. No, Iono doesn't make much sense here. Knocking out the Charizard also doesn't really help you in establishing a win condition because you'll still need to take another 2-price Pokemon.
Ultra Ball is going to discard an Ultra Ball and Iono here. Juho's going to see what resources are available.
Would have loved to see an Ultra Ball for Mew EX and trying to get the Boss's Orders off the restart. All right, so the match has been paused yet again. I do believe the fleet-footed is what we're checking off that second retreat that you mentioned, Jeremy. So that could be the penalty that you were mentioning.
You always hate to see these matches decided on something like this, but this is also the game of Pokemon. There are rules that you need to follow for a concise gameplay and game state.
Indeed, and now in the final with all the pressure, mistakes can happen. There's nothing shady happening here. It's just mistakes happen sometimes. There's so many actions during a turn that sometimes you can overlook things. Something when you're retreating 3, 4, 5 times, or when you're switching 3 or 4 or 5 times per turn, something as a retreat when you have so many switching cards available can definitely be a small detail that escapes you.
I mean, if you promote it, I don't know why
Players are talking it over. The judge is going to confer with some of the judges in the back. But with the way this game has progressed, it has definitely been a majority of Juho's favor.
Indeed, Juho very close to winning here. I'd love to see the Mew EX as the card of choice to try and close this out. I'm pretty sure there is at least one Boss's Orders available. He did discard one Boss's Orders on turn 1, of that Squawk Seas. That does mean there should be 2 more available as long as neither are priced.
And I guess depending on how things shape up for this ruling, was there merit to maybe saving the second Ultra Ball and just thin your hand down to 0 and use that restart from the Mew EX to try to find that boss's orders?
Probably not to 0 as he is holding a Professor's Research, but definitely down to that Professor's Research. Attach the energy to Miraidon, go ahead and restart, because attaching the energy to Miraidon after the escape rope, if you find electric generator and you hit those electric generators for 2 energies, you could just knock out anything with Miraidon's attack. So another good choice there. I would have loved to see that Ultra Ball and fetching the Mew EX, sorry. I'm too in love with Mew EX.
It's okay. We'll get you over your X in a little bit.
All right, both players also talking things through to make sure they are more aware. Yeah, we're reviewing, and we'll let you all know what will be the determination of this as soon as we know it.
We can just do that.
It does look like the judge is coming back now.
Guys, I just checked it. There are the 2 retreats, and you should not have drawn the card at one stage. So it's a double prize and 2 Wednesday.
Okay, so
but I believe it's that. And I believe
we are getting the news from the judge.
Yep, and I think it is confirmed it's going to be a double prize loss on Noah for drawing that extra card, seeing that card when you're not able to. And with that, Juho Kallama is your LAIC 2024 Masters Division champion in the TCG.
Indeed, what a back and forth game 2 and game 1 we saw. Juho was in full control in this game 3. Noah struggling to piece together an attack even, and ultimately was not able to take a single prize card before Juho won this match.
Definitely crowd favorite here. Iron hands up in the air. And just like that, able to now call himself a champion.
Indeed. Pretty stacked house over at the Kallamas in Finland.
Oh yeah. I would not want to try to play over there.
I wonder how much they test together, how much they practice together. I'm sure having such a good, skilled player to be able to play with, right? Very commonly, it definitely helps you as a player.
All right, well, here is the play of the double retreat. And for this game 3, here's the electric generator for Juho, finding one, having that turn 1 knockout with the boss's orders on the Squawkabilly EX. Such a great start to this game 3. And now Noah having the Iron Valiant EX in the active spot. Professor's Research discards the hand. Doesn't really see much retreats. And then
that might have been the second fleet-footed card. And that electric generator, Jeremy, that third one hit just the 1 energy Juho needed to get that KO on the NTV and put himself 1 turn away from winning. Incredible.
Yeah, if you think about it, Miraidon EX has been on a tear in the past month, winning Toronto Regionals and now LAIC here in Sao Paulo. No more mid-Rhydon anymore.
No more mid-Rhydon. I will admit I've been at fault of calling the deck that, and I'm impressed. And I do think Iron Hands EX, which was my prediction, by the way.
It was, yeah, I'm very sad.
Brought the deck to a whole new level. It was already a top-tier deck. And now with Iron Hands EX being able to take a further prize card against those small HP Pokemon, just as Iron Valiant tries to do, Iron Hands combination with the rest of the deck and those electric generators, now we have it as an international champion.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. Such a powerful and fast deck in this format, in a format where it seems like it's sped up with Paradox Rift. Not a lot of extra turns being played outside of something like a Gardevoir EX. And with Gardevoir and Charizard being the 2 most popular decks this weekend, you know what's pretty good against Stage 2 decks? A deck that can get Iron Hands EX turn 1 and attacking with Ampy very much.
Indeed, and even even not just Iron Hands, right? Any attack that immediately targets down a Ralt, targets down your support Pokemon in Mew, right? Knocks out those Pidgeys, which are, it's honestly quite simple to do for Miraidon. Yeah. You start that aggression, and those decks that take a little bit of time to set up are impossible to finish setting up. And then it feels like not too long ago we were talking about how disadvantageous it was to choose to go second. Now we're seeing players purposely choose to go second in order to be able to get the aggression first.
Yeah, that's just the power of this new set.